Hey everyone, this is Daryl, aka the D from the Simply Incredible podcast, and today we're going over UFC 204 Bisping versus Henderson 2. This was in Manchester, England, which I was actually kind of surprised that it was live because I think I'm on the East Coast, and I think that is England is I want to say 5 hours behind ahead of us, excuse me. So at 10 o'clock when it started here, it was 3 o'clock there in the morning. It's 3 a.m. there. I was like, wow, I was really surprised at this, but it was live. But we would start off with all I watched was the main card again. I didn't really see anything on the prelims that really interest me that much, so I didn't watch those. And to be honest, this first fight, I knew nothing about him. I knew nothing. It was in the featherweight. It was Merced Bektik versus Russell Dian. I don't know these two guys. I'm sorry, I don't know either one of these two guys. But Bektik won by submission, a quick submission. I do know that Dion took the fight late. I want to say it was like Monday or Sunday or Monday that he actually took this fight. So he took it late, and he got submitted by rear naked choke in the first. Bektik looked good, but it's hard for me to say that he looked great because when you have a guy that took a fight that late, so but the announcers were saying that this guy is an up and comer, so I guess we'll see. Again, that's the first I've seen of him. Next, and I'm sorry, Daniel, in this fight, I am not going to try to pronounce your last name because there's way too many syllables in it. It was a Stefan Struve versus Daniel Amalena Kazek. Kazek. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 letters in his last name. And I'm sorry, I'm brutal with names. I am. I've always said it. I am. But Struve, he won in the second round by a Darce choke. It was really good, really good. He was looking good in this fight again, and I'm hoping he slowly moves back up, gets another shot at the title. Really like this guy in the heavyweight division. I mean, he's a skyscraper. That's his nickname, skyscraper. What is he? 6'11", 7 foot tall. I mean, that is a huge man. That is a huge, huge man. So, I really hope he gets back in that title because I've always liked him. Good guy. Next in the light heavyweight, we had number 5 Ovince St. Preux versus number 8 Jimmy Manuwa. This one I totally got wrong. I really thought St. Preux was going to win this fight. St. Preux got knocked out in the second TKO knockout. I mean, he was out cold. Good stuff. First round I thought was pretty even, but I think Manuwa was definitely winning, and I really hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Jimmy was really winning. Really looked good in this fight. And I really thought St. Preux was going to come through with this one. Nope. Manuwa, Jimmy. He looked great in this fight and seemed like a really good dude too, a really humble guy, and I really liked him. So I'm really hoping that in the future that he gets more things, big things coming his way. Hope to see more from him. Next, the last two fights were in the middleweight. We had number 5 Vitor Belfort versus number 9 Gegard Mousasi. I can pronounce his last name. I promise you I can. But Mousasi wins by a second round stoppage. First round, Belfort. He always starts off like he's on fire. He's coming out, flames throwing, elbows, knees, punches, kicks. But like everyone kind of thought, if it makes it actually, I thought maybe third round and later that Mousasi was really going to start taking advantage of it. Second round, actually it was kind of midway through the first and then on through the second round, he started kind of taking advantage of things. Looked really good. Mousasi got the win by ref stoppage in the second. He caught him with a really good head kick, and then from there just teed off on him. Went to the ground, more ground and pound, which, the Brazilians, you always think those guys are going to, when he gets to the ground, something's going to happen, but he was rocked so bad that Belfort couldn't really do much from the ground, and it was ground and pound and ended up getting stopped. So Mousasi with a really good win there. And then the middleweight heavyweight championship, Michael Bisping, the Count versus Dan Hendo Henderson. True story, true story. When after that first fight, it was probably, oh man, maybe 6 weeks after their first fight. I actually met Henderson in Maryland, and first thing I was like, I told him, I was like, "Thank you for finally shutting up Bisping." He looked at me and goes, "You don't need to thank me. It was my pleasure," which I thought was absolutely hilarious. So coming into this fight, I'm a big fan of Dan Henderson. He's been around forever, it seems like. When you talk about guys that, Vitor Belfort as well, I think his first appearance in UFC was around, I think they said 17, UFC 17. And I think Henderson was UFC 12, I think they said. So we're going way back in the time machine, and these guys are still here. Belfort, I assume, is still going to fight again. I didn't hear anything either way about that. But Henderson said before this fight, last fight, and, Henderson has had a magnificent career. So, now to the actual fight. The first round, you can just see right off kind of the game plans for these two guys. Henderson was cocked and ready. He wanted that punch. That's what he was waiting for. Give me room and get that punch in there. And he nailed and just absolutely rocked Bisping in the first. I don't know how Bisping kept going. I really don't. He knocked him right off his feet, and his whole face, like one side of his face, was completely swollen. His eye almost swollen shut at the end of the round. And he hit him so hard he went down. Henderson jumped on him, started firing punches, connected many more times. But Bisping was still defending himself, so it should not have been a rough stoppage. Things went just like it should have. I mean, no, nothing wrong there. And somehow Bisping made it through the round. He got back up and still fought some more through the round. But Henderson totally dominated that round. Second round is where the tide started kind of tilting just a little bit. To me, the second round could have gone either way. Bisping really controlled about the first 4 minutes of the fight, of the round. And again, another big right took him down. He threw a few more punches, couldn't get much off. Bisping really wrapped him up, held him tight so he couldn't fire anything else off. So to me, that could have gone either way because you had the one big, huge shot versus a bunch of decent shots. So to me, I was like, I don't know which way to go with that round. But from then on, it was pretty much Bisping really controlling it. He took some more shots. His face looked nasty after the fight. And but the last 3 rounds, I gave them all to Bisping. And the first round, I was really thinking it very easily to me could have been a 10-8 round. And second round, if Henderson had won that round, because to me it could have gone either way. And then Bisping won the last 3. You actually very easily could have had a draw in this. I think you really could have. But all 3 judges put it. I gave it 3. Was it 3? No, 2. 2 of them was 49-46, and one of them was 48-47 for Bisping. I thought it was a fair decision. I know some people that I've heard tonight said they thought it was a horrible decision. I thought it was the right decision myself. But good stuff. And then afterwards, they're in Manchester, England, so obviously everyone's rooting for Bisping. And that's when Henderson had a brain cramp. Sorry. He kind of officially announced that this was his last fight. It's one of those things that I wish it would be, but at the same time, I wish it wouldn't be because I like watching him fight for all these years. He's been a warrior in there, and I think he said his last fight was he was thinking about that being his last, and then the title shot come along, a rematch against somebody he beat 7 years ago. So either way, I could have seen, and I would like to see him fight again, but if not, Dan Henderson, congratulations on a magnificent career. Olympian back in, what was it, 90? I can't remember what year it was. It might have been, I don't think it was 96. Might have been 96. I'm not sure. Or was it 96, 98? Something like that. 98, 94, something like that. An Olympian. But anyway, congratulations. Great career. Bisping, still the champ. Henderson did say something funny. He's like, I wish they would give the decision to ever who looks the best after the fight, because Bisping looked like a mess after the fight, just an absolute mess. But you know what? That's not how they judge it. But good night of fights. Not a great. I mean, this one was to me, as far as the card itself, a little bit lower than it's been the last maybe year. I don't know. I didn't think it was a great card, but decent stuff here and there. But that's all I got. What did you guys think about the fights? Let me know. And you guys have an incredible day.